The one thing I didn't appreciate about Spain, besides eating dinner at 11 p.m. at night, was tapas. Everybody always loves tapas, but I don't like small plates of food. I like to try something and then commit to it and have a whole plate of it. I was eating this thing called Catalania. It was like a little lasagna. I ate it and they were like, "Do you like it?" I was like, "Yeah, I like it. Can I have a plate of it?" They were like, "No, now here's an oyster dipped in mustard." Stop microdosing my dinner. Let me eat a whole plate of it. And my wife was like, "You're not getting into the spirit of things here. It's a culture where you try different plates." And I was like, I should be commended for making a commitment. I'm making a commitment to one plate and not having to figure out, oh, do I like this? Do I not like this? It's like, if that was the case, I'd still be dating. No, but I got married because I made a commitment. You should be happy. I pushed back. And she didn't see it that way. She enjoyed the tapas, and I didn't. It's microdosing. It's microdosing food. And also eating at 11 p.m. isn't that fun for me. But I guess you go to sleep at 4, you wake up at 11, have a cigarette, a shot of espresso, and maybe a croissant. That's the culture. Who am I to disagree with the Spanish culture? On the upside of it, though, you get topless beaches. Tapas is bad, but topless is pretty good. I gotta say, I love it. And we're on the beach, women start taking their tops off, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Aren't you forgetting something?" Because she had her top on. And she said, "No, I'm not taking my top off." And I couldn't help but think it's racist because the culture is to take your top off. And it's just that American arrogance of like going to a different place and being like, "I want a big gulp. Where's my hamburger? I want to keep my top on." It's like, you don't do that. When in Rome, you take your top off like everybody else. And if everybody takes your pants off, they do that too. It's just immersing yourself in the culture and not wanting a hamburger or an apple pie. It's like, this isn't America, dude. And I think people need to know that, and they need it explained to them. Now, we had to worry about pickpockets in Spain, and pickpocketing is a major crime in Spain. And they will pickpocket you. And what my wife did was she took a satchel and put it across her body with all of her belongings in the satchel. And I think that's a mistake because instead of pickpocketing, now they're just going to kidnap. You just upgraded from pickpocket to kidnap. Now they have to take you. And that's not right, I don't think. It's an exaggeration of a crime that could have been just a small thing. But pickpocketing is real over there. But kidnapping is worse. If I was kidnapped, I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy in the world. I wrestled though. And I think if someone tries to kidnap you and they fail, you should be allowed to kidnap them. Like they're grabbing you and they're trying to drag you into their van, but you throw an underhook and you ankle pick them into the trunk of your car. I think you should get to keep them for 4 to 5 years and let them run your social media. Put them to work. That would be the perfect kind of legal system, I think. Anyway, pickpocketing is a major. In America, we don't worry about pickpocketing because we'll shoot them. We all have guns. And now we're doing this thing where we inscribe a message in the bullet now. It's Gen Z writes messages in the bullets, which is, I guess you shoot a pickpocket and it says on the bullet, "Give me my stuff back." It could say that. It could say something very much like that. And so we were eating and we got this thing called octopus leg, which is really its octopus arm. I think they're all arms, but for some reason in Spain this was called octopus leg, but it was really his arm. And it was in some kind of a weird but tasty sauce, and we were eating it, and my wife didn't want to eat it because she says octopus are smart and they have feelings, but my wife is very smart, so of course you're going to side with the smart animal. Smart people don't like to eat smart animals. I'm not as bright, so I will eat a smart animal, mostly out of jealousy, because they have a higher IQ maybe, but my wife doesn't. And I said, look, at Spain, we have to try it, tapas. We have to try everything. I said, you know what I do? What helps me? Just give the animal that you're eating a backstory. For example, the octopus that we were eating, his arm. Like, let's imagine he was a pickpocket. He probably was. He probably was a pickpocket, was arrested, and then they cut his arm off as punishment. And I think the octopus has regeneration, or they get another arm, or if they don't, they could put a prosthetic arm on there, and he could live a fairly natural life. So we shouldn't feel bad about eating it, and that got her through. Now let me tell you something, I eat smart animals because I'm not as bright as my wife is, but I don't eat dumb animals. She'll eat a dumb animal, like a squid. She won't eat octopus, but she'll eat squid, which is the dumber cousin of the octopus. Like an octopus is just a squid is just an octopus that never went to college. So I won't eat squid, but I will eat octopus. I will eat any animal that can problem solve. So, because there's that YouTube video of the octopus that's in that jar, and he unscrews the jar and gets out. And people think that's really the sign of a smart animal, and it is. But I don't like that. I like an animal that you put him in a jar and he stays in the jar because he's loyal and he listens and he's trying to do what you asked. The octopus, you put him in the jar, he unscrews it, he gets out, he starts living on his own agenda. And that's bad. It's bad for a pet, it's bad for an animal, it's bad for our friendship. That's why man's best friend is not octopus, because they don't listen. So, great trip to Spain though. Topless beaches, tapas, and pickpocketing.